Hi, welcome back to the podcast. Myself, Joseph Clough. You can find all the information about me and free MP3 downloads at josephclough.com if you sign up to my newsletter. There's quite a lot there, and they're so valuable and they're so important. You've got things like develop self-confidence, manifesting your goals, as well as a real wonderful relaxation. And lots of videos there, and lots of everything you really need to have to improve your life, your health, your relationships, your career, your finances, everything you want, in other words. And it's all about working upon yourself to get to where you want to be. Because you all have the resources inside of you, and it's just about tapping into them and getting them right now. As well as that, feel free to visit my Facebook page so you can be continually updated on these new podcasts when they're coming out, and also for quite a lot of free stuff, things which I'm either about to sell or I do sell, which are completely free for you to download. So I would absolutely do that. And that's facebook.com/Joseph's fan page. That's Joseph's fan page. Now, I've read a wonderful book quite a few years ago, and there's one sentence within this book which it's just amazed me, and it's a very powerful sentence, and it may not seem that powerful just yet, but let me go into a deeper level of it. And it comes from the book Awareness by Neville Goddard, and that's a must-read book, by the way. It's a truly wonderful book. It is fairly repetitive in its way, but I think it needs to be. It needs to be repetitive so you really get it at a conscious level and a very much an unconscious level. So the quote that he said was, by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and then living and acting upon this conviction, it alters a future in harmony with this very assumption. So what does that mean? So let me say it again. By assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled and living and acting upon that conviction, it alters your future in harmony with what you've assumed. So you're ultimately saying that when you assume or have the feeling of having achieved the goal already, you're actually creating harmony in the body. And if you act upon that, like you take action, as if you have it already, to think it, to feel it, to act and be it, your whole neurology becomes aligned and congruent as to where you're heading. It's like sending the signals to yourself, and if you believe in more the esoteric way of thinking, of being completely interconnected with everything else, it's like you're sending out those signals to attract that thing that you want. So by assuming the feeling of a wish fulfilled and acting upon that conviction, so making those decisions and living that way, then it alters the future in harmony with where and what you want, whatever you're assuming to want. So let's go a little bit deeper with this, because it is a very profound statement, I believe, anyway, and I think when you try this on, you'll be able to see magnificent results very, very quickly. So let's go for it. So it's very important to realize that your reality is the only thing that matters when you wish to change your life or to go for a goal or outcome. It's not about other people's realities or other people's perceptions. It's all about how you see your own world. Your perception of what you think, the beliefs that you hold about yourself, and even the beliefs you hold about the world is absolutely true for you, because I bet you've been in a situation where, although you've known you're wrong, you'll still fight for that belief system. You'll still fight to try to win the argument. We've all been there. And it really kind of says to us that the beliefs that we hold, the values that we hold, the attitudes that we have, the experiences that we go through, it molds how we see the world. I think it was said by Robert Anton Wilson. I think that's his name, Robert Anton Wilson. It will be now anyway. I think he said that we all live in our own reality tunnels. It's like we're looking throughout our own tunnel and everyone else's. And it doesn't really matter what other people's perceptions are, because your perception is true for you. I mean, even Henry Ford of Ford Motors said, whether you think you're right or wrong, you're right. So it's about whatever you think is true for you. And sometimes that can be a hindrance to go for where we want to be. I mean, if you look at people with eating disorders like anorexia, their perception of themselves is very, very distorted. But it's true for them, no matter how much they're told that they're very underweight, or how beautiful they are as well as a person, it doesn't matter. That their mind is distorting so much to be able to fit their perception of what they think is true. So whether we think the world is a good place, we think it's a good place. If we think it's a bad place, it is a bad place. If we think that all men cheat, then that's our belief and that is true for us, and vice versa for, obviously, if all women cheat. Whatever you perceive to be true is true for you, and therefore is a reality for you. It may not be everyone else's reality. I mean, you think of the statement, is the cup half full or half empty? Well, really, when you think about that, you may say, well, Joseph, I'm an optimistic and I always see it as half full. You may be thinking, well, actually, I see it half empty. Well, to be honest, it's neither, or it's both. It just depends on how we view it, how we personally see it, how we engage with what's actually happening in the world. So whatever we perceive it to be is true. Because your perception of your life, your reality, is the sum of all your beliefs, your attitudes, your past behaviors, your memories. And that is like all the sum of those is how you see the world. And that is true for you. So your level of consciousness, or your perception of what you think is true, is the most powerful thing that you can have. Unfortunately, we choose to sometime, and I say choose because we are the creators here. No one tells us how to think. And if they do, we've got to choose to take that on board or not. So, unfortunately, we choose to use it in the wrong way at times. Because it's really, I mean, yes, the escape clause here, the kind of letting us off the hook a little bit, is maybe it's all we've been taught. It's what people have said to us in the past, so we think that it's true. But we can change it. And now is the time to change it, right? I mean, your mind cannot tell the difference between what is true and what is imagined. There have been so many studies where they've hooked people up to biofeedback machines, whether it be athletes or people just visualizing doing something, and their body and their brain is firing off the same type of connections as if it was actually happening. So just by imagining, let's say, for example, if an athlete is imagining running a race, just imagining it in the mind, the brain is firing off the same type of connections as if the body and the brain was actually doing it in reality. Although they weren't. Just imagination is doing that. So the brain cannot tell the difference between what is imagined and what is true. And the very images that you hold in your mind can cause you to feel a certain way. For example, if someone has a phobia, if they think about that fearful thing, they will feel fear, even though it's not actually there. I mean, it happens all the time. I mean, when I've worked with people with phobias, they can say all they've got to do is see it in a magazine and they're very fearful of it. Or even if they think about it, they become very fearful or anxious. Now, why is that? They know it's not there. But the very act of imagining it, the brain is thinking, is it actually here? It's got the same neuroassociations as if it was there. So the body fires off the phobic reaction. And even if you think of some event in the future that you may be anxious about, you'd feel that fear or that anxiety, even though it's way off into the future. I mean, really, that's all anxiety is. It's thinking about the thing in the future going wrong, but your brain is thinking, I don't like this, I don't like what could go wrong, so we become very anxious about it, we become very fearful. But if we turn this on its head for a moment, when you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, or even imagine, feel and act as if you've achieved your outcome already, your inner perceptions of your reality will then change. You become truly aligned in getting whatever you want. And therefore your reality will change. and you'll begin to find, see, and even manifest your true desires. I mean, if you want more finances, or a better career, or even maybe wanting a better relationship maybe, or better health, I believe if you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, so if you assume having got the feeling already that you have achieved it, not only does it mean that in a way, through that consistency of feeling that way, it means that your body is knowing that it's able to have it, you deserve to have it. It also gets your conscious mind and your unconscious mind aligned with that outcome. And your unconscious mind will start to find and search for solutions, trying to find ways of actually getting that into your life. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled as if you're stepping in to having got the goal already, and acting as if you've already got it, living as if you've got it, accepting nothing less, when this happens, your consciousness begins to shift to a new perception of not only getting the outcome, but being absolutely 100% committed. You're acting and reacting from a physical and a psychology, or a psychological even, attitude of already got it. It's like you're getting that congruency in the mind and body. Knowing that you're worthy to have it, assuming that feeling as if you've got it already. But here's the thing, usually we don't think about the things that we want. We say, I don't want to be more broke, or I don't want another bad relationship, or I don't want to fail. What if this happens? And we inadvertently focus on everything we don't want. But now we must take responsibility to shift our focus. I mean, what are you feeling right now? What perceptions and reality are you creating? What results are you getting? If you're not getting the right results, it's time to change your perceptions. And it can take a moment, but it takes consistency too. The more you continue to perceive how you want things to be, the more you think about what you want as if you've already got it, you're getting that inner alignment of who you are. It's like the future is altering because of your new thought pattern. You're sending out maybe the right vibrations. Vibrations which are of being worthy and being good enough. People pick up on those. You begin to act and react in a new way in situations. And if you do this today, every day, and simply assume the feeling of your desired outcome as if you have it right now, you would achieve all your goals. It just works. And remember, it says acting on the conviction that you already have it. So it's not about just wishful thinking and imagining as if you've got to get it. It is acting upon it. So making the decision, taking inspired and massive action. But as always, you've got to try it out for yourself. Take responsibility and try this out for yourself. And I really believe you'll be able to see a magnificent shift in not only your perception, not only how you think and feel physically, but also in the results that you're getting. So assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and act upon that conviction. It will change your future because you're in harmony with achieving it, knowing you're worthy, that you're good enough. So I hope you enjoyed that bit of insight, a bit of knowledge and wisdom by Neville Goddard, obviously, and my interpretation of it. For more information, go ahead and go to my website, josephclough.com, with all my hypnosis CDs and MP3 downloads for so many different type of issues. And obviously, they're very, very affordable. You can get them on CD and download. And also go ahead and visit my fan page on Facebook, which is facebook.com/Joseph's fan page, or my Twitter account, which is twitter.com/Joseph Clough. So I really look forward to speaking to you very, very soon, and have the most wonderful, most brilliant day that you can ever have, because it all starts with you, and it all is you. And that is the most wonderful thing, that you are absolutely brilliant, and it's just about realizing it and acting upon that brilliance that you already are already. Many thanks, and bye-bye.